Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sandro Tejada, Director of Major Gifts and the Seton Hall Parents Program. Thank you for joining in person and virtually How I Got Here speaker series. This is our first for this semester, and we are so excited to be at the Interprofessional Health Science campus with our guest speaker, Seton Hall parent, Dr. Jessie Saverimuttu. I would like to thank my wonderful colleague, Marisol Rivera, coordinator of IHS Campus Student Activities, for helping us organize this speaker series. I would also like to acknowledge Brian Rourke, our Associate Vice President for Development, who is in his second week at Seton Hall and is here in attendance. In our speaker series, How I Got Here, Seton Hall University has tapped our wonderful parent and alumni community to share their career journeys with our students. The series introduces students to accomplished professionals across a variety of fields and provides an opportunity for Seton Hall students to get unique firsthand perspectives about the careers enjoyed by some of our talented parents and alumni. The idea is to empower students with a window into what potential pathways exist for them after Seton Hall. Now I'm honored to have the privilege to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Jessie Saverimuttu. Dr. Saverimuttu is Richmond University Medical's infectious disease specialist and chief of quality improvement. Dr. Saverimuttu has been acknowledged for her commitment to improving patient safety and the quality of care provided throughout the hospital. As chief of quality improvement at Richmond University Medical Center, she supervises the medical staff in developing, implementing, and maintaining programs and policies that ensure the highest levels of quality care for all patients. Dr. Saverimuttu is also a proud Seton Hall parent to three wonderful daughters, Teresa, who graduated with her twin sister, Antonella, in 2021, and Augusta, who will be graduating 2 years, I think. All three are following in their mother's footsteps to become doctors. I also would like to recognize her wonderful husband, Raj Saverimuttu, who's here in attendance. Thank you, Raj. Both of them have been members of our Parents Leadership Council and wonderful parent ambassadors in Staten Island. Enough about me talking. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Saverimuttu. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Sandro, you've been wonderful. And I have to say, my family thanks you a lot. You've been quite close to us even through the COVID pandemic, and we appreciate that. And Brian, I'm meeting you for the first time. And I can see already that you are someone who we can work with very closely. And Marisol and Michaela, thank you for being here. And everyone else who's joining on Zoom. So I'm kind of a bit old-fashioned, as you can see. And as you're looking at me, your perception of me would be like, before you saw me, it would have been like, oh, what does she look like? Who is she? From where is she? What's her background? These are the thoughts that anyone would have as soon as you see a speaker. So to give you a brief background of myself, I don't know whether any one of you would guess from where I came, which country I came from, and some of you may not even have heard the name of that country. If you have, well and good. If you haven't, maybe you'll hear it for the first time today from me. I come from Sri Lanka. And then you'll wonder, where is that Sri Lanka? Is it near Australia? Is it somewhere near Hawaii? Oh no, it's just beneath India. It's a tiny little drop, a teardrop, just beneath India. It's a country by itself. So I come from there. And then you think, how is she talking? I mean, her English is like a different dialect. Yeah, I agree. I hope you all can understand what I'm talking. And then I must tell you, I come from Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka was a British colony. So we were kind of getting the accent of the British people at that time. And then I come over here, and I've been here now nearly 22 years. And I have acquired some of the American accent. And then I'm thinking to myself, finally, what accent do I have? Is it Sri Lankan? Is it British? Is it American? And then I said, let me term my own language, which is Saverimuttu, meaning Sri Lanka is SRI, British is BRI, and US is US. So Saverimuttu. If you can understand Saverimuttu, you're through. You can understand me. Okay. So now, without much ado, so what happened to me that I came all the way from Sri Lanka, which is 10,000 miles. I forgot how many miles. About that. Yeah, I flew all the way here. Why did I do that? Why did I have to do that? Okay, so this is my background. When I was a little girl, my parents, and a lot of us who have parents who have come from the Asian countries, you would actually feel with me. The parents always say, you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to be a doctor. That's it. Nothing else. You don't have a choice. Okay. Then you think, oh, I wish I had a choice. But then you think, oh no, I don't have a choice. Let me do as they are saying. And this is how you succumb. And that's kind of the way it happened to me as well. But I also did have an inkling of a liking for the sciences. So as a little girl, I would love to look at things under the microscope. And my uncle, who lived in US at that time, did give us a microscope, which was not a super good microscope. It was just like a toy microscope. And I would look at things put it under that and put my hair in there and look at how the hair looked, or put a bug under that and look at how the bug looks. And that fascinated me. And I said, I really love this. And I would at some point like to do something related to this. But I never thought that I wanted to be a doctor. So back home in Sri Lanka, there were only 2 medical schools, and the system was extremely competitive. And you have to be at the top of the class and top of the country to be able to get into the medical school. So we had 2 major medical schools, and when I was getting into medical school, 2 more had opened. But I was from the area where the best medical school was, that was considered at that time. And I wanted to enter that medical school. But when I did my advanced level, that's what the British system was. Like from high school, you get into the college. My scores were not enough to get into the elite medical school. So why am I sharing this with you? I'm not ashamed to share this with you. I want you to know you don't have to get the best scores to go where you want to go. It's your will. It's your will and you're wanting to do something that will get you there. So I cried. I said, no, I don't want to go. And then I said, no, I'm not going so far, which is 370 miles. And what is 370 miles here? Nothing. But at that time, we didn't have transportation. Where I come from, we had to take a train and sit in the train, jog like this and hit your head on the sides and go a long way. And there are, along the path, there are wild animals, elephants crossing, and you have to go that way. But thank God you don't have all that problems here. Okay, so I decided I'm not going. I'm just going to become a lawyer. That's what I said. Okay. And my mom was with me and she said, okay, you want to be a lawyer? All right, fine. So I went, I told the person in charge, listen, change me from medicine. I want to do law. And then he looked at me and said, you really want to do law? I said, yes, I do want to do law. And then I sign everything. He seals. And back home, we don't have seals. Like they have like a candle-like thing, which they seal all important documents with. So he sealed that and he told me, okay, fine. Okay, you're going to do law. Then I go home and then they tell me, my parents, and then of course my brother who lives in England, his letter very in an opportune moment arrives because you get letters after 2-3 weeks. And his letter arrives and says that if my little sister gets into medicine, let her do it. And that letter just made me think again. I said, oh my goodness, am I making a mistake? So relate yourselves to me. How are you getting to where you are? How are you making that decision right now if you're in a college and wanting to think whether you want to be a doctor, you want to be a PA, you want to go into nursing, physical therapy, all these are actually allied fields and we all have to work together as a team. Doesn't matter whether you're a doctor, whether you're a physical therapist, we have to work as a team. So I put all of us collectively as healthcare workers and I'm just asking you, are you certain about what you want to do? You may be doing it because there are factors that are pushing you to do it. You may not have the passion right now to do it, but still you're following that path. Just keep following it. It'll take you where you have to go. Do not feel discouraged. So here I am. And another angle of my life is that I love singing. If you ask me to sing now, Of course, I don't sing the modern ones. My kids say, we cannot listen to classical music, drive with this 105.9 FM all the time playing in our ears. No. And when I drive with them, I said, oh my goodness, I'm tired from work. Have I got to listen to this? Can I not listen to Mozart, Beethoven? And I have to listen to this so loud, but it's okay. You have to give and take. Fine. I wanted to be a singer. So a soprano singer. And I did get my voice trained. My parents sent me to get my voice trained. And I was like, this is my passion. I really want to be a singer. So you can see how many things I wanted to be at one time, right? I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a scientist, microbiologist. And in the mix, I threw in an accountant as well. So you can see how diverse I had already gone. And you can see where I am right now in front of you, telling you what I am doing. Okay, so these are what I have been thinking of doing. And then I'll go to the next slide. I have now come to medical school. So I'm going in this train, jogging, like my head bobbing up and down, falling asleep, 360 miles, sudden fears, sudden scares, wild animals, stop the train. Okay, I have reached my destination. For that moment in time, I reached my destination, which is the Jaffna Medical School. What did I learn there? It was a fairly new, fairly, I would say, poor school, but a lot of love. Lot of compassion, lot of empathy, and the teachers were so committed that they infused that love and that enthusiasm and that wanting to do good in us. I will always be grateful to my teachers over there, because whatever they went through, they did not allow themselves to get discouraged. They taught us the best. And at the time that I was there was this ethnic war going on. So I will give you kind of a situation that happened to us. We were on one of the wards. Here we call floors. There we call, in English system, it's called wards, so the floor. And there was bombing, there was shelling, there was war, and there was helicopter strafing. So now we are all scared because helicopter strafing could penetrate the roof and get in. So all of us are standing in a row, and there was this one orphan boy who had no place to go. So the doctors, the nurses, everyone took care of him in the floor, in the ward. They gave him food, they kept him there. And he had an illness called hemochromatosis. And he was loved. He had no place to go, but he was loved. So at that moment, when we heard this helicopter strafing, I saw this little boy next to me, standing right next to me. And we were all standing in a row, waiting till this helicopter passed by. And that bullet, I still can picture it, just came through the roof. It whizzed past me and hit that boy just next to me. And that little boy's leg was hurt. That moment, I still can picture that. We went through all that. Why am I telling you this? We need to count our blessings. Hope to God you'll never, ever face the situation that I faced. Your life, in that sense, it's going to be easy. What you face is all the stresses that are not physical, all the stresses of having to do the schoolwork, having to face different situations that you're facing, not a bombing, not a shelling, not running away to, hide in a bunker. That's not what you're going to face. Ultimately, what happened to this little boy? One day, there was shelling, and one whole floor, one whole ward was shelled. And everyone in that floor, every patient died in the posture that that patient was in. Some sitting holding a cup, and this little boy died there. It brings tears to my eyes. Do you know why I am telling you this? I want to create that human feeling in you. You do medicine not because of the money. You do medicine not because of the prestige. You do medicine because you care. You care for someone who's hurting. You care for someone who needs that love from you. So please, I'm begging of you, whatever reason you're choosing to be in the healthcare profession, you do it, but do it with this focus that when you go to sleep, you have helped someone. You have made a difference in someone's life. So let's move on. So that was what I did and how my teachers taught me. They taught me well, and they also taught me because at that time we didn't have the ultrasound machine. X-rays were very difficult to get. We didn't have CTs. We didn't have MRIs, forget it. We didn't have PET scans, forget all that. You are blessed. You have all that. What we had was our own hands, our own ears, and our own sense of smell. They taught us to feel the abdomen and say, the liver is enlarged 4 centimeters. They taught us to turn the patient to the left and feel the spleen and say, the spleen is enlarged. Okay, they taught us to use our stethoscope and say, this patient has a systolic murmur or diastolic murmur. And they would stand by our side and say, did you get that? Did you get that? It's very difficult to detect the murmur and say, oh, this is a systolic murmur, this is a diastolic murmur, this is aortic regurgitation murmur. It's very difficult. Now, oh, there's a murmur. Immediately echo. Yep, that's what we do. But when I learned, it was this. So see how blessed you are. Count those blessings as you move on. So having acquired all this, what did I want to do? Still that scientist thing was there annoying me. I want to be a scientist, yes. So I finished my medical school. It took a long time. And the final year that we were writing the final paper, it was surgery. And I was writing the final paper. My legs were shivering because way in the background, I could hear the bomber. Zoom, boom. Zoom, boom. I said, this is coming. We are all going to be dead. We are all going to be dead like the patients who died on the floor like that. Wrote the paper and the exam got interrupted. They said, no, we have to stop it because of the war. So I went back home, which is Colombo, 360 miles away, waited there until we got called back to finish the exam. Is any one of you going to face it? No. Count your blessing. You're going to go through step by step. It is you who will do it or not do it, not a bomb, not it is you. So I want to strengthen you and make you feel you can do this. You can, nothing external is going to affect you. You can do it. So I finished the exam finally after however number of months, 6 months maybe. Came back to Colombo. I worked in the Colombo Hospital, which is one of the elite hospitals. Now, you know, every place is good. I worked there and did my internship there. We call it internship. I did medicine, I did surgery, and then we had to, you know, do a subspecialty. Cardiology was where I was placed. I said, I don't like it. The stress of cardiology is too much for me. That's personally too much for me. Then I went to do rheumatology, and that was nice. But still, I felt I needed to do something in the sciences because I love it. So I decided to stop clinical medicine for a while and go into academic field. And that is how I got my PhD. So I joined the Colombo Medical Faculty as a lecturer. And while I was being a lecturer there, I did my PhD. At that time, we were funded from Sweden to go to Uppsala or Stockholm. So I was able to go to Stockholm University to do one whole academic year to do part of my research there. And I did get my PhD, and we were working on a filarial parasite. You all may not have heard of that. It's a parasitic infection, which is very rampant there, and people end up with huge, like elephant legs, so ugly. People end up with breasts that are so huge because of the lymphatics being blocked. And that is a filarial infection. And we got the funds to work on that parasite. So that's what I did, and I did my PhD. And while I was doing my PhD, something else very important happened. So I have to now get married because back home, that's another culture, right? You do what they ask you to do. I don't dare any one of you to do what I did because that is something very dangerous. Okay, my parents said, we have a man in the US, you are here in Sri Lanka. It works well, get married. What do I do? Can I say no? I don't know that person from Adam. Might be Adam I've heard in the Bible, but him, no. So this was arranged, real quick arranged. And he comes 1 week to see and say, hello, how are you? Okay, good, thank you. All right. And then the next thing I know, I'm married and I'm here in America. No family, no friend, except him and his mother. So you can imagine, mother-in-law, right? So we are here. But they've been wonderful. They've been really wonderful. And every part of the way, my parents did such a wonderful job in getting me here, and they gave the baton to my husband, and he has done a very wonderful job, and I'm very grateful to him for that. So I came here and I'm thinking, what should I do? the first thing is have babies, right? So here we go. I have these 3 beautiful babies, twins. They come in first. It's a lot of hard work, but they were wonderful. Each one had their different personalities. One would smile all the time, one would not smile all the time, but they had interchangeable personalities at times. The first day when I brought them home, I couldn't recognize them. I didn't know which one was which because they were twins and they were identical. They only fitted in my arm like this. And one of them had a V-shaped mark, and I would look at the forehead and say, oh, this is Antonella. And one of them had a strawberry nevus, and I would say, oh, this is Teresa. That's the way I identified them. And then, of course, my little one came in. So at that time when I was having her, I was pregnant, I didn't know that. So I was thinking of going into the sciences at that time. So I went to Staten Island Institute for Basic Research, and I told them, look, I'm interested in doing research. So they said, okay, we have an opening in mad cow disease. I said, all right, mad cow disease, that's fine. I'll take it. Okay, in the 5 years. And one of the parting questions was, by any chance, are you pregnant? I said, I just got to know I'm pregnant. So I suppose for my safety and the baby's safety, don't work with mad cow disease, please don't. And I didn't get the job. Okay, so all right, that was a little bit of a disappointment, but God's ways are mysterious. Soon after that, my parents came when I had my little girl, and I saw them and I realized they taught me so much, and they come to a foreign land, and if they needed help, I am unable to give them any help. As a physician, if they got sick, I just have to ask someone else, can you help my parents? I looked at them and they had to go back to Sri Lanka. It hurt me. And I said, no, I am going back into medicine. And that's how I got back into medicine. And ever since then, I have not left medicine, clinical medicine. And that is where my journey is up to now. And why did I do infectious diseases? So this scientist, this microbiologist, and this little microscope coming back over and over again. But I'm telling you again, when you are doing residency, what happens is most of the time in hospitals, they do give you quizzes every month. And the infectious disease quiz that they gave when I was in the intern year was one of the most difficult, because infectious diseases, if you don't know facts, you don't know facts. You can theorize, but you'll get it wrong because facts are facts. Okay, so I scored kind of the lowest, and my program director was not happy with me. Why am I telling this to you again? Score the lowest, don't give up. Okay, I scored the lowest in infectious diseases, but I'm not ashamed to tell that to you. I was determined to become an infectious disease specialist. At the end of my 3rd year, I applied and I got into the fellowship for infectious diseases at Mary Immaculate and St. John's. We were St. Vincent's. It was a big hospital then. It's all closed now. And I did my fellowship there. Then I came back to Staten Island and worked where I did my residency after about 2 years of working in a nursing home to get my feet wet a little bit and get used to everything. And then I went into Richmond University Medical Center, which was then St. Vincent's of Staten Island. The name changed and it became Richmond University Medical Center. I've been working there ever since then, and I took the position of Chief of Quality Improvement for the Department of Medicine. Mind you, I'm not the VP or the SVP for quality. I'm the division chief for the Department of Medicine, and I have been working at that. So why did I put that structure there, up there? Now, by now, everyone will recognize what that structure is, right? So when I wanted to become an infectious disease specialist, microscope and everything's said, did I ever bargain for that? No. That hit us really hard in March of 2020. Did I want to quit? No. I will say it emphatically, no. I felt so proud to be there. I felt this was my chance to be a warrior, to be in the forefront and fight and get this under control. I did, and all my colleagues felt that way too. We would go into rooms and we didn't have enough PPEs at the very beginning, but we took care of ourselves, we took care of each other, nurses, physicians, physical therapists, respiratory therapists, nursing assistant, PAs, everybody got together. It was like one big family. We all worked together to get this under control. It was selfless. None of us thought, okay, we want to run away and hide until this is over. No, we wanted to be there for the people, care for the people. So I put that there because we, for this lifetime, are not going to forget it. We cannot because it's still on. But even when it is gone, I hope it does soon, we will never forget that. We are all going to remember that. So what has helped me through this journey? As you can see, if you allow me to talk, I'll talk forever. And if you are falling asleep out there, or if you're yourself off, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. You could do that, or doing something else, talking to your friends, you can. Little bits if you want to listen, that's fine too. So what helps me? Helps. I didn't say helped only because helps. It's still helping me. I'm hopefully not done yet. So it's still helping me. There are 3 things which begin with F. Not anything. F is these Fs. Okay, faith, family and friends, and fortitude, forbearance, and forgiveness. Okay, so my faith, your faith, we all have faith in some power. We may call God, we may call any name, but there is a power that leads us on. For me personally, my faith is through Jesus, trusting in God. And for me, Jesus has been my best friend throughout my journey. So I'm not asking you to do what I'm doing. You do whatever your faith leads you to do. Believe in that higher power, because ultimately that higher power is the one that will never fail you. Human beings come, go, get angry, die. But that higher power will never, ever let you down. So trust in that high power. If you don't even trust in that, just take a moment, look at nature. The higher power is in that nature that surrounds you. Take time to calm yourself down. Just sit down, meditate. Just put away all the problems that you're facing, the stresses. You have to give this paper on this time. This lab has to be finished. I have to get an A+. I have to, oh my goodness, I got a B-. Now am I going to get kicked out of this program? So many stresses are passing through your mind. It's not, oh, I'm being bombed. Should I run into a bunker? That's not what's worrying you. It's what grades you're getting. Okay? So what you should do at that point in time when you're really stressed, 2 minutes, just take 2 minutes of your time. Put everything aside. Just sit silently. Allow that power to take hold of you. Just relax. Just relax. Let go of everything that bothers you at that point in time. And that will take you like putting gas to your car. It takes you a long distance after that. Okay? And remember, you cannot do this on your own. Family and friends. That's a very, very important factor. You need people around you. You need your family. I had my family. I had my parents. I had my siblings. I had my brother. I had my sisters, although they were not in Sri Lanka at that time. They had all gone abroad to England and Australia. I still had them in spirit and their support. And when I came to US, I had my husband. Now I have my kids. They are my best friends. And I tell them everything. You need to have someone, not only one, better if you have more. Your family, your friends, you tell them your cares, you tell them your worries, and you yourself are listening to their worries. It's a two-way street. It's beautiful. Experience that. And always be around people who are positive. If people are criticizing you for the sake of criticizing you, not for your benefit, just move away. If people are making you angry for nothing that you did, be pleasant, keep away. Keep away from negative people as much as you can. Be around positive people, and you be that positive person yourself so that people are not running away from you. They are coming towards you because you are exuding that positivity to others. The next thing is yourself. So we spoke about the higher power. We spoke about your family. The ultimate thing is you. You have to be convinced. If you don't have conviction, there is no way you can pull through this. So again, I'm telling you, you may have come into this profession for many number of reasons. You might be doing it for the financial gain. You might be doing it for the prestige. You might be doing it like me to satisfy your parents, but still you're in it now. Don't turn your back. Go forward. Believe in yourself. Endure it. You can get through this. If I could be an infectious disease specialist scoring the lowest in a quiz, You can do it better. You can do it all. So believe in yourself. Never, ever give up. Don't be a quitter. I would always tell my kids, my mom told me, you're born to a tiger, like growling tiger. You cannot be a little cat, meow, meow. You can't do that. You got to go growling forward. Not that you want to attack people, but that's the strength she spoke about. So I tell my kids, if they ever talk about quitting, I said, no, you're not born to a cat. You're born to a tiger, okay? Go ahead, do it, whether you like it or not. Then the next thing is people are definitely going to hurt you. They're going to make you feel unhappy. They're going to make you feel bad. Do not retaliate, because negativity always brings negativity. You move away, but forgive in your heart. You're cleansing your own self by doing that, and you're not carrying a burden inside you. What the other person does is the other person's problem, not yours. What you do is what will help you, what will cleanse you and make you feel good. You're not carrying unnecessary burden inside you. Hatred, animosity, all that is unnecessary. Revenge, all those are unnecessary. You need to be free of everything. Be calm, be kind, be nice, okay? But before you do all that, you be kind to yourself. Don't put yourself down. Don't say, I'm the worst person. I scored so low. I'm not good at this. Don't. You may not be good at it today, but in time to come, you may be the best at it. So do not ever give up. Okay. So now you have come here, you have heard me. Where are you going to go? What is your step? Well, some of you will be very high achievers in terms of scores and getting to elite places, but that would not mean everything. It is who you are at the end that means everything. So in the field we are as healthcare professionals, I earnestly urge and beg of you, please cultivate empathy and compassion, because this profession is a noble profession. If I have spoken to you for the last 35 minutes and achieved nothing, that's useless. But if I have made you go out of this lecture feeling, yes, I chose this profession for whatever reason, but I need to give to this profession all that I have, which costs you nothing. Empathy costs you nothing. Compassion costs you nothing. That is who you are, who you create yourself to be. From whatever backgrounds you have come, this is a basic human instinct of empathy and compassion. Feel it in your heart. What if the person I'm seeing as a patient is my own father, my own mother, my own brother or sister? Would you not have empathy? Would you not have compassion? You would, right? So use that same principle to have empathy and compassion and be a professional. No, when I say there's so much in being a professional, okay? You do not talk about others. You just be the professional you have to be. Maintain that at all times. Learn this because you all are going to go far, but keep this in mind, empathy, compassion, and being a professional, okay? Always do not backbite, do not talk about others, do not, carry tales. And the way you conduct yourself with decorum and with respect for others, everybody has to be respected. You may end up being the highest position in a hospital, but even if you become that, remember, if you can remember people's names, even the janitor, hello, Susan, how are you today? Be kind. That goes a very long way. To the nursing assistants who are turning the patients and cleaning them, if you're there, you can just ask them, can I help you? You're a doctor. Oh, okay, do that and you don't walk away. That CNA could be your sister. That could be even you, right? So take that moment, even if you're busy, 2 minutes to help hold the patient. It's a big patient, so they need help, but small CNA is trying to move the patient. You could say, I'll hold the patient while you clean up. 2 minutes. But that act of kindness makes you feel good, makes you feel better. Take the time to do that. You see a patient struggling to eat, an old person, can't see. Oh, I'll call the CNA, I'll call your nurse. Don't walk away doing that. I know you're busy. Everybody is like busy from one person to the other person getting home. No, that person needs help. Just take a few spoonfuls and feed. Wait till that person swallows. You see the smile on that person's face. It makes you feel you've done wonders. It's not only the medicine, it's not the physical therapy that make people move. It's not the medications that the nurses give. No, this act of kindness will last forever. Please learn that, do that, don't forget that. And remember, so that is what makes you be there for the right reasons. It's not the money. It's not the prestige. It's not your family looking up to you and say, oh, my daughter is a doctor, my daughter is a nurse, my daughter is a, oh, my son is a doctor, my son is a CEO somewhere in a... No. Ultimately, who is that person? Who is my daughter? Who is my son? Who is that human being that matters? That is the thought I want to leave you with. So the final thing is I'm going to show you a YouTube video, and I hope you look at it and to me, that's very moving. Okay. How do I stop it, Michaela? I just...
Save up to 85% by visiting Minute Clinic instead of the ER. Minute.
Okay. Got it back. And PowerPoint, I'll go to the PowerPoint. So it was, for me, very moving. I hope you found it moving as well. You could see the different clinical scenarios there. You could see everyone participating. from the transporter to the doctor, to the nurses, to the physical, everybody was there giving their part. So ultimately, you become who you are. I encourage you to become who you want to be, but do not forget that human part, that human heart longing to have that empathy and compassion. Please hold on to it. You may become the most famous person ever, but hold on to that. Make a difference. Show you care. Okay? I hope you felt that. I hope you got that feeling so that you will remember it forever. So there is another video which I'm not going to show you because I have been talking too much. It's already 3:45 and okay. That video, if you want to, you can watch it on your own. The last slide that I would leave you with is this. My dad always taught me, he taught me to memorize a lot of quotations, proverbs, and so many things. And those actually came in handy for me. So if you do take the time to read those things that make you feel good, that empower you to do the good things. And this is one of them. And I leave you with this quotation actually from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. That's him. And what he says is this: lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time, footprints that perhaps another, sailing o'er life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing, shall take heart again. Thank you. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Yes. Any questions?
I received some questions. What would you do differently if you could go back in time? There's something that maybe not.
Yeah, so the question is, what would I have done differently? Now looking back, I don't think I would have done anything differently. I didn't like some of the things that I did, but I did it. And I'm happy that I did it. If I did not do those things, maybe I would think I could have done that differently, but I would not do anything differently. And I would not exchange the experience that I had when I went to a place where I did not want to go. If I had fought and waited in Colombo, I would have missed all that experience. I would have missed that little boy standing next to me, getting that bullet shot. I would have missed that feeling of I have to do good. So I wouldn't do anything differently. Uh-huh.
The question that I asked you earlier is that are graduated, they must talk to you as that meeting.
Yes. So I must tell you, I got drawn to Seton Hall myself. I'm not from here, as you can see. My kids, after high school, the junior year, senior year, there's a lot of clamor, a lot of like stress and angry and, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to go Villanova, I want to go this place, I want to go to Holy Cross, I want to go to NYU, I got NYU, I need to go to NYU. But I was telling them, okay, you can go wherever you want, but God will take you where you have to go. But personally, I loved Seton Hall. I don't know what about that campus that really attracted me. And as I told you, my faith journey with Jesus, the chapel just made me feel like this is home for me. And I wanted my girls to have that experience. And I'm happy, and they are happy too, that they ended up at Seton Hall. So that was the thing that made them come here, no matter wherever they wanted to go. The attraction for my husband and me, both of us were talking. This is a beautiful place. We want them to go here. And then after we came here, we met so many wonderful people, including Sandro here. He has been so wonderful to us. So it's been a good experience throughout. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. I think there are a few more questions. We still have a few more minutes, and you can all be out of here before 4, I think.
There's a student that's asking, Alex,
Uh-huh.
what stands as the opposing force development of necessary empathetic, passion approach healthcare workers have?
Oh, that's a very good question. Oh my goodness, you must be someone who's actually experiencing some parts of healthcare right now. I tell you, if you leave me to talk here, I'll be talking for hours. But the system is so different. The system, pardon me for saying this, is reimbursement, how much you can get, how much the hospitals are getting. Hospitals are going to close if you don't get this. So you have to get patients in and out, in and out. And I see my residents struggling through this. This is not only where I work, it's, I feel, universal. If a patient comes in, length of stay, how long do they stay here? Out, they have to get out, length of stay has to be shortened. In that mix, you have to go for your lectures. You have to go for the interdisciplinary rounds where they look at you and say, okay, why is your patient still here? Why is the patient not out? And then your rounds are starting where you have to learn. And do you learn? You just are thinking, how am I going to write this discharge paper? How am I going to do this? So where is the empathy for the person? There is no time. The time factor is a problem here because you're doing so many things in that 24 hours that you cannot really be a human being. How do we change this? This is what I keep thinking. How do I change this? How do I get healthcare back into where it should be, where people feel? But the system does not permit you, actually. And then the electronic medical recording is there. So you sit in front of a computer, type, 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 type. So you spend 20 minutes in front of the computer, maybe 2 minutes with the patient. So that's another challenge. Can we spend 20 minutes with the patient and 2 minutes with the computer? No, because you have to write good notes. And there are, legal issues coming up if you don't document. So you keep documenting. So many extraneous factors that prevent you from being who you are. But no, you still can carve out that time. Even a minute. Go to a patient's room, smile. Look at the person and say, you're going to be all right. That didn't take 30 seconds. You can still do it. You're going to see that patient for 2 minutes. That patient will feel you're seeing that patient for 20 minutes the way you conduct. If you look at your time, oh, my cell phone, look at the cell phone. No, don't do that. Just stand there. If you can, sit at eye level of the person, talk to the person, say, I understand how you feel, and we are doing all we can to get you better and get you out of here. And, touch the person's hand and say, don't worry, it's going to be okay. What I said just now didn't take even a minute, right? So you could do that, you can. But the question that you asked, and my answer is the system is actually working against you. But create that, wherever you go, create that, because people look at you and say, oh, that person is wonderful. That person is something, You will create that because you will be an example when you do that. I hope I answered your question. Any other questions? That's good. Oh, you had. Sandra has one.
I know one of the things that we talk to students about.
Yes.
Finding a mentor. There's someone like traveled from Sri Lanka to the United States. He looked at this person maybe terrible guidance. There's someone that you can trust.
Yes. To answer that question, my professors back home, their sacrifice and talking to them and the feeling that I have to emulate them was one thing that carried me through. I also had the blessing of having my 2 sisters being physicians, and that helped me a lot. My elder sister was phenomenal in what she did, so I could always look up to her when I was little, so that kept me going as well. And after I came here, yes, it was tough because I didn't know anyone, but there's some professor or some teacher who you look up to and you can connect with, who will guide you through. So I did find someone like that, and that helped me going. But in the ultimate analysis, it's your family. So I can say my husband was my strength. So I cry on his shoulder. I don't beat him up, although I want to sometimes beat him up. but he has to hear all my frustrations, my venting and my anger and all that. At work, he says, you're such like a calm person at work. You come here and you're a tyrant here. I said, yeah, what can I do? I have to be a tyrant somewhere. I'm bringing all these stresses home. So he has been wonderful. And of course, now my kids, they're grown, they understand as well. So again, the faith, family, all that I told you comes into play here. Good. Thank you for coming and thank you for listening. I hope you can take something away from here today. Empathy, compassion. God loves you all. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Saverimuttu, for a wonderful presentation in our How I Got Here speaker series. If you go into the link that was shared with everyone that was invited, you can see there are 9 other wonderful parent speakers from different sectors in business, in the educational system. We have executive editor from Asbury Press, if you're interested in journalism. Those students that are online, if you have parents that are interested in joining the speaker series to provide some advice and career advice to our students, please have them contact me if possible. As you can see, we have so many wonderful parents that can share their knowledge as Dr. Saverimuttu did today. And hopefully those that are online, please connect with Dr. Saverimuttu if she's okay with having them connect with you, just to hear more about just some advice, networking. I think our students would be agreeable to that as well. So again, thank you everyone for coming. Have a blessed day and enjoy Halloween. Be careful, don't eat too much candy, right, Dr. Saverimuttu? You have to be healthy. So have fun and happy Halloween. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.